Alright guys, I'm going to do a live trade demonstration in here. Nothing super significant, but I have some Litecoin in here that I'm just going to sell. So I just click this, it loads the Litecoin in here, how many units I have, and I'm just going to look at the bid and the asks right now. So 1.759999, I'll click that right in there. That's the current ask. I'll just go ahead and lower that a little bit actually to this number right here so it'll fill. I'm going to sell the Litecoin and then confirm the sale. And it's going to fill instantly because I just agreed to pay or sell what this person was bidding. So boom, that's sold. Now I have 0.0022 Bitcoin available, right? Okay, cool. Well, if I wanted to go ahead and buy a coin, let's just go over to a coin, for example. So let's just do RDD, or let's even do XVG. It's at 653 right now. We'll go over here. I'm not sure if that'll actually be enough Bitcoin to buy. It's usually 0.005, but we'll go ahead and find out anyways. So we'll see. Verge is at 653 right now, plus or minus, give or take. Let this load for a second. Now we can set conditions once again. I talked about stop losses in a couple of the previous trade videos. The stop loss simply allows you to put conditions on your sells or your buys. So say you want to sell a coin and you want it to sell at 1500 Satoshi, but say you only own it for 800 and you're okay if it sells down. For example, if the market goes up to 1505 and you get that 1500 sale. Well, if that market gets overbought and then it starts to come down, it gets tons of value and it loses support and it starts to be sold down. Well, you can put conditions to where that 1500 order fills and you get that sell, and then you can conditionally sell down to say 1300 if you're okay with continuing to make sales down to that 1300 level, and then you set your stop loss there. So you own the coin for 800. You want to sell at 15 and you go, okay, but I'm fine selling down to 13. The market sells, you can sell it down to 13, and I'll show you that. But okay, so we have 0.002 Bitcoin available. I can just click that and it'll go right there. Now it's currently at 650, 655. So if I wanted to just make a sale real quick, or excuse me, make a buy real quick, I could just click this right here and then I could click max. Okay, so what I'm saying is I agree to pay what this top person is asking. I agree to pay the 655, which is the most aggressive ask. It's the lowest ask. And with my 0.00224908 Bitcoin, I can buy 342.51 of these coins. Then I'll click buy, and then I'll click confirm, and it'll buy it, right? All right, so XVG's filled. Now I own 342 of these coins at 655 Satoshi. Okay, great. Now I'm going to take that 342.512. Okay, so what I'll do is I want to sell this now. I just want to turn around and want to make a quick sale. Now obviously this coin's not going to go up for me to make a profitable sale in the next 2 minutes while I make this video. So I'm going to click this right here. I don't want to sell my available balance. I want to sell 342.51, which is approximately what I just bought. Now I paid 655. Now what if I want to sell a little bit of a profit, so I want to sell it at 656. That's what I'm looking to do. Now if I'm lucky, it'll actually go ahead and go to that point while we're on this video here, and I'll make that sale. In the meantime, I'm going to let this sit and show you a couple things while I watch to see if it ends up going to that point. What we can see here, I can tell, is that we've kind of had a battle. Zoom out a little bit. We had a battle going on in here, and then it tanked down. Long lower shadow on this green candle, long lower shadow on this red candle, which means it bounced down and it came right back up. Not a whole lot of volume in here. I'm not going to be surprised if in the next few minutes it honestly goes to, this 663 level. It shouldn't be too hard for it to bounce up to 660, 663 in the next couple minutes. Now, that's an insignificant profit. That's absolutely nothing, right? Like, that's horrible. It's not even worth trading. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put that sell in, and I know it will fill. I mean, it will fill at some point. probably in the next few minutes to few hours. Now this candle is red right now. It's got a little bit of volume going on so far. This is a 30-minute, so we have 14 minutes left in this 30-minute cycle. What I do know is that red closed, it opened, it started to go up, and then it fell down here, and it pinged back up a little bit. We're hovering in this area right now. Well, let's go ahead and look at the order book real quick. Let's see what this order book looks like. Now we can see that for it to get bought back down to, you know, say this 564 level or 500 level, it's got to have about 83 Bitcoin in volume that direction. It's not going to take too much for it to creep back to this 641 level, honestly, because there's not a whole lot of volume needed for it to go back. It's a little bit harder for it to creep up to even the level that I want to sell at, just based on this current chart. Asks and bids, and it's pretty steep ramp up to this 747, 750 level. Now take that with a grain of salt, because there is 1,076 Bitcoin worth of volume today on this, and this doesn't really mean very much to me when there is that much volume, and we're talking about, you know, a couple Satoshi. So it is going to fill. It's just probably not going to fill while I am on this trade with you, okay? But if it does, that would be great. So I have it at 656. I'm just going to go ahead and say, all right, well, I'm going to sell there. Guys, it's like $18 worth. I don't care. Honestly, I could even just sell at a loss just to show you it go through, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to put it at, you know, probably even 757, just so with the fee in there, I break even, make a couple cents, whatever. So what it says is if I sell 342.51 at 657, I'm going to make 0.00224467. That's what I'm going to make. That's what I'm going to make. Now, what I paid was that right there. That's what I paid. So I'm just going to click that, and you see this good till cancel, this limit. Well, you can put these different conditions on it. Good till cancel, or you can put immediate or cancel. You've also got a limit here that you can put. Now, limit default. This is normally what it's going to do. We can do a conditional. And what this condition means is sell when it hits 680, 700, 560. So sell when a condition is met. See what I mean with that? You can put different conditions on it. But it allows you to do a greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. So you can put conditions on this. So what I would do is if I wanted to put a stop loss on this, I could put a conditional. I could choose condition, and then the condition that I set could be none, greater than, or equal to. So for example, if I wanted to put a condition when the market is greater than or equal to 656, it's going to start selling as soon as it gets to that level, and it will continue selling as that level is reached, and it continues to climb past that. So say it reaches 656, it'll sell a little bit. Then it reaches 680, it'll sell a little bit. It's 670, 690, 830, like whatever. It'll start progressively selling that coin so I can cost average and create a higher profit on the way up in the market. Makes sense? Now, I could also do a sell down. So where you would use a greater than or equal to is if you wanted to go, okay, well, I want to put a sell in at 1,000 Satoshi, but if the market continues to surge past that, I want to take advantage of that. That's where it would be greater than or equal to. Now, where you would use a less than or equal to, for example, to say I own this coin for 500 Satoshi, and I want to start selling when it reaches 1,000 Satoshi. Well, what I could do is I could put a less than or equal to 1,000. So if I put it at 1,000, it'll start selling down that coin from 1,000 down into the body of the market. Where you have to be careful with that is if you own the coin for 500, it goes to 1,000 and it starts selling at 1,000, and as the market continues to get sold down, if it continues selling down past 500, you're obviously going to sell some of those coins at a loss. So that's where kind of that term stop loss comes into play. So these are the conditions you can put on that. Normally, I don't really screw with conditional sells because I set my notifications, because I learned to read the charts and the indicators, and I don't really often have to rely on conditional sales. It's kind of a lazier way, in my opinion, of doing it. If you understand how and where to place multiple sells or multiple buys and cost average your holdings, then this is not a tool that you'll use very often, but I just wanted to show you guys it so you understood what it means, and hopefully that makes sense for you guys. So I'm just going to change this back to a limit. Where are we at right now on the coin? We're 650, 651. So it's going down, and like I said, it makes sense for it to go down because it doesn't require a whole bunch of volume for it to creep back. You know, it'd be pretty easy for it to creep back to 641 and then see what's going to happen, and then it might end up testing back up to 657, right around there and filling. So I'm just going to sell that coin at that, boom, and I'm going to be okay with that, and then it'll populate my XVG sell placed, and boom, that's that. So now you can kind of see a live trade, other than the fact that this didn't actually sell here while we're on this, but it would take a lot of volume and a lot of movement in a very volatile upward trending market for you to be able to see that take place all in one video. So I wish I could have shown you that. Couldn't in this one. Maybe we'll get it in the next one, and I will see you in the next video.